Welcome to the Power BI quiz. Nice to see you, sort of all, and I like to say welcome. Yeah, hello, Jeroen.
Hey, how are you doing?
Fine, thank you, and you?
Good, good. I'm still here. We just had Thanksgiving last Thursday, so I'm still recovering.
Oh yeah, yeah. You just told me you had actually a whole week off now.
Yeah, I had last week off, so I'm going to be back at work tomorrow.
Nice, or maybe not that nice, but did you have a
Uh,
good Thanksgiving?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was good. So, yeah, looking forward to a couple more weeks of work, and then it's off for the holidays. And hopefully, my mom is
Oh yeah.
going to visit in 3 weeks time of now. So that's going to be exciting as well. We haven't seen her for 2 years. We haven't seen
Oh,
any family for 2 years. So it's about
oh
time.
yeah, yeah. I could believe that. Yeah. And then for the quiz today, we are talking
Yeah.
about modeling and DAX. Why is that?
Well, that's very easy because I happen to be the PM on the Power BI product team that's responsible for DAX and modeling. So whenever there's modeling problems or whenever there's improvements to be made in DAX, I'm the one that has to decide or at least has to have some influence on it. So that's why I picked this topic, not because I don't care about anything else. It's just that, I am supposed to be kind of the expert, quote unquote,
Yeah.
on it. I'm not entirely sure if that's fair.
No, and now we talk about product managers. We have seen a lot on Twitter that people, some of the names we follow has been moving to Synapse. What is all this about?
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, I saw that. I saw people yeah, almost being afraid a little bit that nobody's really working on Power BI anymore. So let me be very clear. There's still loads of people working on Power BI. It's not just Mo, me, and Will, right? It's loads more. Amanda's still here. Lukas is still here. There's still more. But yes, you've seen people moving between products, and that's because the product came closer together. So Synapse and Power BI are getting closer together. There's more synergy between the products. There's more integration going to happen. And as a result, you'll see program managers moving back and forth. Actually, we've also had a couple of program managers from Synapse join Power BI, although they are not that like active in the community yet. That's why you might have felt like, wait a minute, everybody's running away from Power BI. Absolutely not true. We're working closer together to build more synergy between the products. That's why we are moving people
Oh
back and
yeah.
forth.
So there will be a lot of new interesting stuff coming up, I believe, for the coming months.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's loads of stuff that I cannot talk about at the moment. But yes, of course, there's going to be very interesting challenges ahead, definitely with the Synapse integration that brings Power BI to a different level. That's one of the things, of course. And then in Power BI itself, there's still a lot of work to do for us. There's still a couple of cool things that I'm personally working on that I'm very, very, very excited for to share with all of you. Hopefully early next year.
Wow.
So don't go tweeting to me like on the 5th of January, like, where is it? It will be a little bit longer, but hopefully, around March, April timeframe, there's a couple of cool things
Oh
coming up.
wow, wow. Nice. Thank you for a spoiler like that. So
Hey, everything for the community to get you excited. So,
thank you, thank you. So for people joining in the Power BI quiz for the first time, so we have this website that is powerbiquiz.com. If you join in here, you can go in and then actually watch what shows is coming up. Because today we are starting a whole new season 4 that was just run for 4 Sundays of Advent. So only 4 shows for this short season here in November, December time. So this is also a Christmas season, and that's why I have this funny thing on my head, and Jeroen has this Christmas sweater on because it is officially, I believe, Christmas is starting today.
I'm not an expert, but I guess so.
Yeah,
Uh,
because
especially here in the US, after Thanksgiving, everything is
yeah.
Christmas, right? Like the day after, everybody with the belly full of turkey is hanging Christmas lights. So yeah, definitely Christmas has started.
Oh yeah. So yeah, so and here you can actually also go in and see all the results if you want, and of course this is a Power BI report where you can see all the different shows that we had before here. There's been a lot of shows, yeah. So and see the results and stuff like that. So I encourage you all to go into powerbiquiz.com and look through this, and then also be sure to remember to also join in next week and the week after for all these 4 seasons shows in this seasons. So there's no quiz without prizes, of course. So we have 2 prizes. We have for the winner a gift card of Lego for $100, and then we have a raffle prize. And the raffle prize is just for one lucky attendee, and we will that's for all that's been attending this week today, and we will pick that at the show in next week. So to give you a little insight to this is the Pluralsight, yeah, where you can get 1 month of access to Pluralsight. And here I've just searched for Power BI, and there's a lot of interesting courses here, and you will get 1 month for free to explore all these. And it actually these gift cards is donated by Nicola here, so you can go in and watch his or any other. And then for the Lego, because yeah, we all love Legos, right? And here I've just searched for something that you can buy for under $100. That's for the winner of the show today, a gift card here, and then you can buy something for yourself or maybe for your little ones, or you can.
How much does the host get?
There should be something for the host, yeah.
Just joking, just joking. But I see the Fender Stratocaster actually for $100. That sounds very interesting.
Yeah. There's a lot of things in here. So this is the prices. So, and then, yeah. Now we will start the quiz in just a moment, and you will see the questions on your monitor, and then you can go into Kahoot.it on mobile. But actually, Kahoot is just giving us a new functionality that I can also show the questions on your mobile device or secondary device. So you can see them both here on the YouTube screen, but also when you're answering. And I will put that in. That is something new that we didn't have before. And then you will get a pin that you will, shortly. And then as your nickname, you could put in your full name or Twitter handle. Of course, if you're attending today and you win, you can write it in the chat, and I will reach out to you. But if you wanted to win the raffle prize, then please pick a nickname so we can identify you in some way if you're not attending next week's quiz. And then please be aware, we have a delay of 3 to 5 seconds, so you will have to wait for the questions to come up, the answer opportunity on your mobile device when you see them here. And that also means that you will, on the other hand, don't let the timer run out. And then we'll, for everyone to get familiar with this form of quiz, if you haven't tried Kahoot before, there will be one start question that is not awarded points, and then we have the 10 real questions that Jeroen made for us here around modeling and DAX, and you will get points for all these, and the faster you answer, the more points you will get. But if you're not answering correctly, you will of course not get any points, so be aware of that. And then also be aware that we will post all the results public on the website that I showed you before. So let's get ready to start the quiz. I will just jump over here, and then this one I can show the questions and answers on your players' devices, and I will put that in. So now you will see the pen code. So here you have the pen, and we are waiting for you to join in.
Join.
So
exciting.
Oh yeah.
So now we'll see all the people coming in. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I see we have nearly 60 people seeing the YouTube stream, and I encourage you all to also join the quiz, because then it will be much more fun.
Can you show the pin once more?
The pin is on
there.
the top. So 2644734. And we have 30 people joining in.
Scrooge McDax. Awesome. I see a lot of familiar names in there, but it's also funny to hear some. I'm pretty sure I know actually who that is.
Yeah. And I also see a colleague of you, Rui Romano, on the Power BI Cat
Yep.
team. And
Yep.
And let us see here. Yeah, we have also Mark. We can put him out. No, of course.
Yep. I expected him to be there, and also the other person with the same name, Jeroen. I also expected him here, so that's exciting to see them.
Yeah, and you've done some sessions with Mark, right, on this topic also. So
yes, actually from the same office. I've been stuck here for a long time.
yeah. We all have been in our offices. Hopefully, it will end soon. So we have 33 people joining in right now, and I will start it, and you can always join in. The game pin will be in the top. So and the first question isn't awarded points. So if you can't just figure out how to join, don't panic. We'll start it now. So we will start with just a funny, silly question at the start. Just a poll. Yeah, so did you all?
You should really know this. Come on.
Yeah.
If you work in IT, you should know this.
And as you can see here, you have 30 seconds to answer this one, and it is a little different. Some of the questions you have 20 seconds, some of them you have 30 seconds, and some of them you have 60 seconds. And this is just a single answer.
Ooh.
And would you reveal what is the right one?
Well, the right answer is number 2, deep thought. And this is, of course, from Hitchhiker's Guide of the for the Galaxy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that is what it is, and you should have read that book if you work in IT. At least I think so. And you might not have known this. To be honest, I had to look up the name up when I made the questions. But yes, of course, you should know what 42 stands for.
Absolutely. But that will be too easy, I think. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we put a slightly different angle this time. That's definitely not deep learning, obviously, because deep learning is just a technology. Yeah. And the others two are just made up answers.
Okay, yeah. So let's get started with the first question that is awarded points. So single answer question. So what is the maximum number of slices in a pie chart? So, and you should be aware of who have made these questions.
Yeah. With this in mind, just think about who made these questions this time. That might give you a clue to the answer.
Oh.
Well, I mean, obviously the answer I would give is 0 because I'm fully against pie charts. This is more of a joke, actually. There is no actual limit, I think, to a pie chart, with the exception that in general, of course, Power BI at some point will stop displaying extra data points. So I think technically, yes, the answer is unlimited, but Power BI will just say, hey, there's too many data points to display. But if you ask me, and that's why we said, think about who made the question. If you ask me, the answer is going to be 0. Always.
Yeah.
Full stop. Not a lot of people liking this answer, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, I see at the screen you
Okay.
you ended a little small. This is this NDI feature we are using from Teams to bring you in, and it's a bit sketchy now. Now you're back again in full size. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
We don't know that's Teams. So yeah, a little tricky one, but please keep in mind now when you answer the questions after this who made them. So this is also to make that clear. Let's see who is on top. So
and I just will be less.
So we have Rob on top and Jeroen and Nicola. So let's have the next one. So what's the name of the preview composite model against datasets and AASI analysis services? You get 30 seconds to answer this one.
I always like how you can hear from how somebody translates or pronounces Azure where they are from in the world, because everybody says slightly differently.
Yeah, and I think we lost your video, but your audio should be here still. So the correct answer is, yeah, I have your video here, but I lost it in the stream.
Okay.
Maybe you come back. It's a little glitchy, but the right answer is DirectQuery 4.
Yeah. Yes, DirectQuery for Power BI datasets and Azure Analysis Services. It is not the other way around. So it's not DirectQuery for Azure Analysis Services and Power BI datasets. It's also not being called new composite models. And I know this name has been confusing. Lots of people are complaining about the length of the name. People also call it proxy models or composite models v2. But the reason this name is here is because I believe that when we exit preview, this name will disappear. Because when you think about it, what we actually do in this preview, we allow you to build a composite model, which is not any, against a source that you were never able to use with a composite model, which is a DirectQuery, a Power BI dataset or Azure Analysis Services. So in the end, when this ships, when this is becoming a general available, this name will disappear and it will just be a composite model that uses data from a dataset or Azure Analysis Services. So to give this a special name like new composite models or V2, or I don't think that was smart. So that's why we didn't do it. It will be called composite models because that's just what it is. It's just a composite model and it happens to be against one of these two sources. Yeah. So that's why it's a specific and very long name.
Oh yeah. Can you give us some time frame about when will this go GA, or is it not something you want to?
No, I mean, everybody that has been following this knows that it has been in preview for almost a year now. Just from making this general available is the fact that you still need build permissions to read a report that has been built using this feature. That's something that we want to fix before we GA, before we make it general available. We want just, if I share the report with you that I made, you should just have read permissions on that report, nothing else, like view permissions. You shouldn't need build permissions on all of the data sets. So we're fixing that. Once that's fixed, this feature is going to be general available very quickly afterwards. So I don't have a specific time frame, but I can tell you we're currently working on fixing that, changing that permission issue from build to view.
Thank you for that explanation. Let's have a look at the scoreboard. We have Rob on top still. The only one have answered both of the first two questions correctly. So let's have the next question. So now you'll see a picture. So what does this mean, this picture?
That's a tricky one.
That's a tricky one. I actually had to look it up myself.
That's why we make this kind of questions, right? It's interesting. So yeah, it's a limited relationship. You might not have seen this very often, but they exist compared to regular relationships. And we now show you that in the diagram view with one of those like little anchor thingies that basically make sure that the line is not connected all the way through.
Yep. And we won't talk this much into this because the next question is also about this feature, and then you will have more time to explain more about it.
I don't want to spoil the rest of the answers.
So let's have the scoreboard, and Yeah, it's still very, very close in the top. Rob is having 3 correct answers at the row. So let's have the next one. So this is a multi-select one. This means that you can select 1, 2, 3, or 4 options correct, and you don't know how many you should take. And please be aware when this is a multi-select that you need to press submit in the button to have your questions in. So when can you get a limited relationship? 5 seconds left to answer.
Ah, awesome. That is good news. Loads of people know this. That's awesome. That's great to know. Yeah, I mean, these are the 2 scenarios in which you can get a limited relationship: cross-source group or many-to-many, right? So many-to-many relationship, we all know what that is. A cross-source group relationship actually also goes back to that DirectQuery for Power BI datasets and Azure Knowledge Services preview, right? Because that's where you'll get more cross-source group relationships that will happen more often. So those are the 2 scenarios in which you can end up with a limited relationship. Now, the limited relationship has impact, and we'll have another question about that in just a second, so I won't spoil anything there. I want to go back to Bernard on the chat. He says correctly that not all limited relationships are shown like that. Totally fair. Absolutely true. It's a bug. We're currently fixing it. Yes, this icon means a limited relationship, although today it only shows for a limited relationship that is caused by a many-to-many relation. So only for the blue answer. That's when it will only show, but it's supposed to also show for a cross-source group relationship, and it will very soon. So that's what this icon means. This icon does not mean a limited relationship. Sorry, it does not mean a many-to-many relationship. It does mean a limited relationship. So yeah, you will see it in both cases.
Okay, thank you for explaining that. So let's see the scoreboard. And wow, it changes a lot. So, but still very, very close here at the top with these 5 people in front. And we still have 6 questions left. So a lot of things can happen. So one more question here. And this one is awarded double points. So here you will see an image. And you have 1 minute, 60 seconds to answer this one, so you can watch it carefully. So what will this expression return, this DAX expression?
It's good that we gave it a little bit longer time. Yeah. Otherwise, this is maybe too hard. So now you have enough time to look at it. Think a little bit. The answers are trickling in, so we're almost there.
10 seconds left to answer. And 30 people answered.
Right, so the correct answer is an error, right? Because again, we had a limited relationship here, and related is one of those DAX functions that we used here that is not supported across a limited relationship. So that's why you will get an error. And obviously the blue answer was not the correct answer. Somebody that answered that is probably just having fun here. But you might expect the red answer. I think we were 50-50 between those 2, right? And that would have worked for anything else except for the fact that this was a limited relationship. That's why related will not work. It's just simply not supported across these type of relationships. So there you go.
And let us see. And now we have Mark on top, followed by Amadeo and Tony and Lago and Rui. So still very close before we get the last questions in. So we still have 5 questions left. So let's have the next one. So here you have a multi-select one more time. So multi-select means that you can enter 1, 2, 3, or all 4 of them. And you have 1 minute also, so you can look carefully at this one before you answer.
As you should do with anything in DAX. You should look carefully before you press enter or before you share anything with anybody. You should be careful. So that's why I give you enough time to think about these kind of things.
So yeah, and of course this is in DAX and not in M, if anyone should be.
Right, that's true. That is absolutely true. I mean, the context here is DAX, yes. So the answers are the blue and the yellow, correct. And the yellow one, of course, is the most popular because that has been the classical way of doing it. However, recently, earlier in the year, we introduced what we call date-time literals. So it allows you to specify the date and time literal, even with a time zone if you want to, that you want to express in like double quotes with DT in front of it. So you can just write your date time or take it from a variable, put it in that quotes. And that's how you can also express the date time. It's perfectly valid to still do it using the functions like date and time that we have here in the yellow answer. That's still perfectly valid. However, the literal within the double quotes makes it a bit easier to express that.
Yeah.
And of course, I deliberately took the AM PM to make it hard for fellow Europeans like myself.
Yeah.
I'm still getting confused.
And we have Amadeo on top. Donald also getting in on top 5. Let's have the next one.
Mark didn't get this correct or not quick enough.
I think maybe not answering correctly, or maybe not answering it fast enough, yeah. Or maybe he just played safe and only took one of the options.
Maybe. Who knows? We'll see.
We'll see, yeah. Have the next one. Once again, something with time. So what's the output of this expression?
And again, it's a DAX expression, and we use the datetime literals here, right? So you see the DT double quotes being again, and then we do something with that. We put it into format.
Yeah. So how will it end when we put it like this in the format? So yeah, you also have 60 seconds to this one, so a little tricky.
Yeah, and I actually spot a little bit of an error in the answer. I see. I mean, the year, in across all the answers, the year is not shown properly.
So
there we go. Great. So why is this? Right? I mean, with the new functions that we introduced in format, you can actually now specify a locale. We did that recently. Before, you could just do the datetime and then the format string, but you couldn't specify a locale. Now, there are situations in which you can specify both a format string and a locale. And if you do that, and if that format string is a specific format string, that is going to be used. So in this case, we have both a specific format string that says mmdd 4 times y, and yes, the answers were 2 times for the year, not 4, which is an error on our part. Our apologies for that. But in this case, it's a specific format string, and even though we specified a locale, that is going to be ignored because of the format string being specific. So you could have specified, what is the locale in Denmark again? DK?
DK, yeah.
Yeah, so you could have specified that, but nothing would have changed. Or NL for the Netherlands. So the moment you would have said format and then your datetime expression and then something like general date as format string or scientific date as format string, then the locale kicks in. Or if you don't specify any format string, then the locale will be used, and then whatever you specify there, ENGB, NLNL, ENUS, whatever, that is then going to be used to format the output. So in this case, it's a bit of a trick question, but the answer is the blue answer.
Perfect. I believe a lot of people learned something. I did. I can. So yeah. I'm still Amadeo, and we have Mark on the scoreboard again. So
Good.
let's have the 3 last questions here. What's the maximum value for the number of simultaneous evaluation settings? And here you have a picture from the options menu.
Yes, you will find this in the options menu under global data load of Power BI desktop. And that's where we have this setting.
Yeah, and you only have 30 seconds to this one. So here you have to be a little quick. 10 seconds left. Yeah, I believe we got all answers in.
Right, and the red answer is the correct answer, and I'm happy to see that most of you got that correct. So this is all about query loading. So this is the only relation, or the only link to Power Query and Matthew, sorry about that, in this quiz. It's all about parallelizing the queries being loaded when you're loading data into Power BI Desktop. You can change that. We used to only supply certain defaults, and now we allow you, using these configuration settings, to change those settings. If it's too slow or it's taking up too much resource, you can now control that. One of the settings there is the maximum number of simultaneous evaluations, so the maximum number of simultaneous queries that we will run. And because this is a parallelization job, we allow you to set a maximum of the number of logical cores on the machine, logical CPU cores. So it doesn't make any sense to go higher than that because you don't get any parallelization. Of course, you can set it lower, right? That's if you think Power BI Desktop takes too much resources, you can do that. It doesn't have anything to do with gigabytes, memory, or whatever. It's just about the logical CPU cores. So that's the maximum number that we will allow you to set it on.
Oh, yeah. People are saying this is Jedi level.
Hey, it's just a couple of things that we introduced relatively recently in the last 1.5, 2 years. That's why I picked them, because I know a lot of people aren't really aware of this. So this is also a good way of kind of revisiting what is happening in this space relatively recently.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that. And now we only have 2 questions left. So let's see. We have Amadeo on top, Rui, Mark, Tony, and Don here. But still have 2 questions left. And the last one is also awarded double points. So still a lot of people can win this quiz. So, at what stage in your report development should you test your RLS setup when using DirectQuery? And you have 30 seconds to this one.
So RLS, of course, is row level security. I kind of assumed everybody know that, but just calling it out. Don't know if it helps in the last 5 seconds.
So this was a little tricky for people.
Yep, this is tricky. So the answer most people gave, I believe, is does not matter as long as you test it. It is a better answer than never tested, of course. But I would urge you to test it earlier. And the reason I bring this question up is because of how the Power BI DAX engine actually works when RLS is included in your data set. RLS is normally always used to reduce the rows that a user can see, right? That's what you think, right? I mean, you have all the products for all the sales for all the countries, and now we set an RLS rule that just can only see Denmark and I can only see the Netherlands. That should always, in any case, reduce the data set that is being executed, right? No, that's exactly the problem. Loads of people end up with the infamous 1 million row error the moment they turn on RLS, even though the report worked great before that with DirectQuery mode is when you can get that 1 million row error. even though the report worked great before that, now we have set up the RLS filters, which should reduce the data set, right? And now suddenly we get the 1 million row error. What's going on? That's why I urge you to test this as early as possible, because of how the DAX engine works. Is if there's RLS specified when the RLS is evaluated, the query space can be bigger than you originally had expected without RLS. That's because some optimizations are not executed when RLS is specified. As a result, the query space that the engine has to handle can blow up above that 1 million row limit, even though your data set is not as huge, or you didn't have any problems when you didn't have RLS specified, because if you don't specify RLS, that optimization will kick in. If RLS is specified, that optimization doesn't happen, hence that error. The reason I bring this up is there's almost every day, there's a support case opened in our support channels for this exact situation. So we spend a lot of time talking to customers, explaining that this is happening, going to a lot of details to help them understand why this happens. And we're also trying to come up with a video to explain this, exactly why this happens and how this happens in the engine. So please, if you use RLS in DirectQuery mode, define those rules early and enable them right away. Then you will be safer from that 1 million row query limit error.
Yeah, and I believe when more and more people use a composite model, they will also run into this one, right?
Yes, absolutely. This will come up more often using the composite models against the Power BI data sets, right? So this will become more problematic, if you will. So please be aware of this. It just, it's very frustrating for us, for our customer support, and for your customer that this suddenly happens, because RLS always reduces the data set, right? Yes, it does, but the way it's being evaluated doesn't.
Yeah. Thank you for that very
Sure.
nice answer on this one, because I believe a lot of people didn't know that. So yeah. So let's have a look now, and we have really close here at the top 5 before the last one. So now, and
it's going to be decided in the last question.
Yeah. So and we have double points for this last one. So yeah, get ready for this one. True or false? Double points. So is this expression valid DAX? And it is a very small expression, so hopefully you can see it. You have 30 seconds. Maybe you can zoom in on your browser to have it bigger. So, true or false?
Wow, that is cool. The answer is yes, this is valid DAX. It didn't used to be, though. Before March, you weren't able to specify the filters to calculate this easily. In March, we introduced a shortcut expression for filters. That's what is being used here. So before, if you wanted to say sales amount, but only for, the colors that are red and the style to be W, you had to do filter and then specify those. And now you can just quickly write them out, and we will understand what you wrote, and that's how we can now handle that. Before March 2021, this exact expression would have given you an error, would have told you, nope, you need to specify something else, use filter or whatever. But this way of just writing DAX, we feel, is way more intuitive, because it just basically says calculate and then filter against these things. So since March 2021, this is perfectly valid DAX.
Yeah, thank you. So, thank you for that explanation. Let's have the podium. And at first place we have Amadeo from Italy. Congratulations. And Mark and Fran as the runner-up. So thank you very much for everyone joining in for the quiz. And I hope to see you all next week at the quiz there. So yeah, thank you everyone for being here and taking part of the quiz. And congratulations to the winner. And next week we will pick the raffle winner from one of them of you who participated. So, and thank you to you, Jeroen, for taking the time off for Sunday here and delivering this quiz for us.
No worries. Thank you for having me. I'm just excited that I was invited, and I'm sorry for making it so hard. I deliberately picked a couple of things that were kind of tricky. I didn't want to make it too easy, but let me just say thank you to all of you for being part of the community. The community is what makes Power BI great. It's not just us working on the product and everybody around it. It is the community that makes Power BI really shine and fly. So the fact that you are here in the community, that you're active in the community during your work days and even in the weekend is just astounding to me. So thank you very much for that.
Yeah, I will send the thank you to all of you that is attending here. It's really great to see so many people joining in on Sunday. When I announced it should be on a Sunday, I was just, will people actually use a Sunday for a quiz like that? And yeah, a lot of people join in. So thank you very much. And I hope to see you all again next week.
Okay. Thanks all.